Well, I've been getting a lot of requests for musical stuff recently, and I'm out of stock of almost everything. But don't worry, I am making more. And I wanted to show you a new product that I'm also working on that's along the same vein. This is not the finished product, obviously, but this one here is the wheel, which has already been for sale, which has one wheel, which is spring loaded for pitch bend, and then this other one is fixed for modulation. And what I've done is come up with a what I'm calling right now the baby bend, for lack of a better word, which is just going to do pitch bend. It's a smaller wheel, so if you see the wheel size of the original wheel is sized as a full-size piano key. That's where this size came from. This one is smaller, as you can see, next to each other. And so the enclosure is smaller because I don't have to have all that space. And so you just shift it that way, and it springs back to center. Now, in the bigger wheel, I use what's called a torsion spring. This is a spring that is used to return that pitch bend to center. If you ever take apart a keyboard and look at its pitch bend, you're going to see something very similar to this. And that's how it goes back and forth. Well, the springs are big, and in order to be strong enough, and actually they're pretty expensive too. They're a couple of dollars each, and then sometimes you have to have them custom made and yada yada yada. It ends up being a lot of trouble. So one of the things I've worked on for my gaming folks was a little wheel for their analog triggers. And with this one, because it was so small, I knew that I didn't necessarily have to use a spring. I could use a magnet or two magnets. And so there's a magnet there and a magnet inside here. And when you tilt it, that return to center is magnetic force that's bringing it back to center. So you can see it's pretty nice and tight there. But the thing with magnets especially is that you have to have a bearing inside of here. So there's a little bearing inside of these sticks, a little roller bearing here that it moves on so that it could be, kind of buttery smooth, because that's what you need really low friction if you can get it. The other thing is that's been changing in some of my products is you'll see regular potentiometers. This is a standard rotary potentiometer that you'll find inside mod wheels and pitch bend wheels, and they're different qualities, and some of them are smoother than others, and they're relatively tough to turn, so, which means you need a heftier spring. And so you're battling between springiness and being able to return to center. So what I've been doing with the newest batches of stuff is I've gotten rid of this rotary potentiometer in the pitch side and replaced it with these little rotary sensors. They basically do the same thing. They give potentiometer output, so they give a resistive output. The difference being is that they're very, very smooth. So they have almost no resistance at all. It's really, really, it really doesn't affect the resistance of the wheel at all. So this allows me to keep everything nice and smooth. And so that's what's inside the baby bend. You're going to have I haven't wired this up or put it together. I've been working on the enclosure, but you have the wheel. It snaps back and forth thanks to our good friends magnets. It all snaps together. Now, this part in the back, it's going to be pretty standard with what I've been doing with my newer devices. First, you have the USB, and that's for power, or if you have a USB MIDI, you can use that. This will have the TRS jack, so you could use serial MIDI, so you could have a converter cable that goes between 1/8 inch 3.5 millimeter TRS to big 5-pin DIN 5 MIDI, and then a little space back here for a button. This is the little hidden button back here is used for switching MIDI channels, and also when you need to reprogram it, if you need to reprogram it. And then the other thing I was thinking, I know that there are folks that want pitch bend that go this way, and then there are folks who want pitch bend to go this way. This unit is kind of small enough that you could really orient it either way. You know, if you want, and this is going to be high, this is low. So if you have it this way, it's going to work. This way, it's going to work. So I can't make it symmetrical because of the chips and cords and everything else inside. But this is about as small that I could make it and make it reasonable to use. So this is the baby bend. This is coming soon. I am waiting on some parts which should arrive today so I can make more wheels. I'll also be making more dials. Thinking about doing the enclosures in both black or white, so you could choose a color. A lot of people I know have asked for black, and just continually evolving these products to make them better. And it's because of your support that I'm able to spend the time and energy to come up with new ideas and to keep improving my products. So thanks for sticking with me.